We're going on the women's side. I'm much more confident in where we're at. We know, we have experience going up to altitude. We're actually a couple hundred feet lower. Not that that makes much difference than last year's conference meet. These women have just showed so much maturity, even as young as we are. I mean, we've got one junior and one senior in the entire nine. The rest are freshmen and sophomores. So, but they've showed tremendous maturity and are really setting us up well for the future.
How do you prepare for the altitude?
There's not a whole lot that we can do. What we have done is that we've gone up to some of the higher points in the hills. We've gone up to the experimental forest. We've gone up to Dumont. We've gone up to Deadwood, and just gotten up there and done some hard running so that they're exposed to it a little bit and get a little bit of a feeling of, okay, this is what it's going to feel like when I'm midway through that race. And what we did with that is that we just tucked that into our long run. So made them run for an hour and a quarter, and then said, hey, guess what? Now you have to run hard for another 45 minutes. And it's great. I mean, their confidence. When I did that to them last year, I had kids that were, dragging their tails through it, and they were coming back and, coach, I can barely see, my head's hurting so bad, and it was really, a lot of it is just their mindset has changed. They look at it now and they say, hey, I can do that. They go up there now and they just knock it out. Don't worry about it, just do it. So it's changed the mindset.
Do you have any idea about the course that we'll be running?
It's at Cattails Golf Course, so if anybody's played on it recently, I'd like to know. But, what I know is it's fairly flat. It's supposed to be mostly running through the rough and on the fairways, so should be. The RMAC likes fast courses, so that's what I'm expecting.
So I assume this time of year your recruits are all finishing up their seasons. Can you comment on any of the potentials you got coming in?
We can't comment on any specifics, but we've had some good conversations with some kids. We're definitely keeping an eye on the state meets, and as those are starting to come around too, and so we feel like we've got a pretty good pool right now, and it's just working through it and seeing who really wants to be an engineer and who gets a little bit nervous about it. Other questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Always good to be up here when the Hardrocker football team wins, and they've done a lot of that. It seems like as of late, they won 5 out of their last 6, 5-2 on the season. First shutout since 2008 for the Hardrocker defense, and I know Coach Collins, that's been a long time coming. He's been wanting that defense to put a goose egg up there. That's tough to do. Welcome up head coach Stacy Collins.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks everybody for coming out today. Certainly had a great game on Saturday. I was real impressed with the effort. And those are always scary ones as your coach. We had a big win on the road at Central Washington and bounced back. And Simon Frazier, like I said last week, is a lot better team than their record shows. And so for us to come out and find a way to win, and again, like Nate said, the first shutout since 2008. So great effort, great team effort all the way around, finding a way to win another GNAC game at home, and that's a big deal. Had some guys, players of the week. A lot of guys played extremely well. Offensive player of the week was Trent McKinney, who was also the GNAC Offensive Player of the Week, and it was crazy. Our offense put up so many points here. But they probably had one of their best halves. We didn't put the ball in the end zone, but they had 354 yards and 51 plays in the first half. So they were moving it up and down the field very, very well. Defensive player of the game was Witterson Brutus. He's our middle linebacker, and Brutus certainly had his best game on Saturday. Did a nice job on that piece. Special teams player of the game was Robbie Girard. He's a freshman kicker for us, had 2 field goals, and has really progressed real well throughout the season on it. And then our pickaxe player of the game, we kind of did a lot of everything, was Kevin Mills. Had a great touchdown late in the second quarter there as we headed into half, and also played extremely well for us on special teams. So very impressed with their effort, pleased with their players and coaches, and now we head down to play Azusa Pacific. Azusa Pacific is an extremely talented football team. They've won the GNAC the last 2 years. They've lost a couple times to Humboldt this year, and Humboldt's having a nice little run. But this is a very, very talented football team. They have, and you've seen the running back, Jaquan Gardner from Humboldt State. They got a running back themselves that I don't think he gets as much credit as he should. They had the Terrell Watson kid a year ago who's in the NFL right now, but this guy's a very, very good football player. Runs up and down the field on a lot of people. Big physical up front, big physical on defense and run around. So it's a high-end Division II team, and it'll be exciting games. We get a chance to head down to Southern California and play the Azusa Pacific. Any questions that I can answer for you about last week's game or upcoming game down in California?
So tell us about the travel logistics going to the group.
Yeah, Azusa's going to be probably one of our easier ones, actually. We got a 2 o'clock flight out of Denver, so we'll leave at 5 a.m., bus down to Denver, get in there, get everybody checked in, flying to California, get over, get a practice in that night. It's a night game, so we got a little time in the morning with the guys, and then after the game, we'll head over, stay over by LAX, and fly out Sunday. So really for us, we're flying to Denver and bus back. I mean, it's a long trip, but a lot better than some of the other ones we've had in the past. So this one, especially with that later flight on Friday and being a night game, gives us a little time. Kids are, they don't miss any school on Thursday, which is great for us.
Coach, when you look at the defensive numbers, this marked improvement from last year to this year, what's been the biggest difference? You get a shutout this last week. What's been the biggest difference defensively?
Yeah, to be honest with you, we really don't look at the numbers much. Really, what are we doing on tape? I think that's the biggest piece. And everybody wants to talk about scheme, and then I think people get enamored with scheme maybe because of what they see on TV a lot. But really, it's how you're doing the fundamentals, or how we're tackling better, we're running to the football, we're getting off blocks. And I think those things, regardless of what you're doing scheme, and certainly scheme has a factor. I mean, it always does. But I think that's the biggest deal is our fundamentals are better, we're doing things, we're tackling open space, we're creating turnovers, we're running to the football, we're getting off blocks, and that's been the biggest change as I watch the tape. So.
How's the defensive confidence coming out of last week? It's a little different story. The defense kind of propped up the offense, had a lot of yards, not a lot of points. Great to see them stack up with everything. How's their confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime you can throw a shutout, and shutouts are hard to get. I mean, I've coached a lot of places for a long time, and those are hard to get. So yeah, no question. I think that helps with your confidence. They're able to get off the field a lot on Saturday, and then get into a couple situations where Simon was driving and make some plays and keep them out of the end zone. So I thought it was a big boost in their confidence overall defensively. It's certainly needed, certainly needed. Yeah.
Well, Azusa wasn't flashy earlier. They put up 61 points last game. What's been their biggest improvement?
Well, when they're firing on all cylinders, they're as good as anybody. I mean, and I say that they're a very high-end Division II football team. They're talented, they're well-coached. They hit it on all cylinders last week against Dixie State in all 3 phases. The games that they ran into, again, Humboldt's a pretty good football team this year, and they played them twice, so that's 2 of their 3 losses. The Central Washington game that they lost is a crazy game. I mean, their running back goes down and gets tackled on the 1-yard line at the end of the game. He goes for 77 yards, I believe, or 78 yards. And so, they're a good football team. I mean, when you watch them, I think they just, last week was one of the weeks they got it all together, and they're very, very talented. They certainly, they're preseason voted the favorite in the GNAC, and you can see why when you watch the tape.
Coach, you said, Azusa's getting it all together. Do you feel the same way for your team right now?
Yeah, it's been 2 good. Yeah, it's been 2 good GNAC wins. You go on the road and beat Central at Central. That's a tough thing to do. To win at home anytime it's a GNAC game. So these last 2 games have been well. Certainly Humboldt, we played well for a quarter and a half. That's not good enough. But yeah, we're playing better football. We need to continue that trend. We're getting some more guys healthy, and I think that has a lot to do with it. We were really decimated there for a while. Excuse me, we still got a lot of guys out, but that's college football. We're going into week 8. But I do think that has been a factor in the last few weeks as we're getting some guys back and starting to make some plays. Got a guest here today. Sammy Cowan is an offensive lineman for us. Sammy's originally from Midland, Texas. He graduated from Ashland, Oregon, so he'll tell you he's from Texas. I'm a Southern Oregon guy, so I tell everybody he's from Southern Oregon, so I claim it myself on that one. But just a tremendous person. He's a mechanical engineering major. I can go on the list of accolades for Sam Cowan, not only as a football player, but more importantly as a person, what he represents for this university. And I tell you what, if you have a poster child for this place as a scholar athlete, Sam Cowan needs to be on front of that. So come on up, Sammy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Coach Collins already said, I'm Sam Cowan. I say I'm from Midland, Texas, but I did finish up high school in Ashland, Oregon. So I guess it depends on the time of day when you ask me where I'll say I'm from. I came to School of Mines because I wanted to be an engineer. I actually come from a family of engineers. My mom, my two little brothers are engineers, and my younger brother studied engineering. So that was a big part of schooling for me. So I was looking for a school that had good academics and also a football program. So I ended up here. Been here for 5 years. It's my 5th year. I took a medical redshirt last year. So it's been kind of ups and downs with football and schooling wise. It's been really good for me actually. I've had 4 internships. I've interned with Caterpillar twice, Exxon Mobil, and then Peabody Energy. And then I've just accepted a full-time offer with John Deere with my wife. I was married this summer, so my wife and I both accepted a full-time job with John Deere last week. So School of Mines has been a very good school for me, a good place for me to grow and mature. It's offered me a lot of challenges, academics and on the football field. The football field, you know, we've had a couple of tough seasons in the past few seasons, but this year, you know, we're starting to come together as a family, come together as a group, and start playing as a team. So this week, you know, we just stay focused, take it one play at a time, and you know, our plans to be is to sit at their house, and that's what we're planning to go do this Saturday. So, any questions?
What do you weigh?
I'm a little light right now, about 300 pounds.
Thank you. What's your best Coach Collins story? Oh, your years.
You're a senior now, you can really.
Well, not yet. I'm still playing after the season. You can ask me this question. You can still do something to me, you know. I can.
He'll play you this weekend, trust me.
I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. I guess for me, I've always laughed. We have a guy on the team that has a similar build to Coach Collins, and
All in sexy. I didn't know it was the player in front of us, so I was like, coming up. This is more my side, so I was coming up from him. I was like, Coach Collins. So I was trying to talk to Coach Collins. Well, it wasn't the other player, and he thought it was the craziest game in the world playing Coach Collins. I guess this year against Blackville State, seeing Coach Collins, how excited he was, and seeing this, you know, this adrenaline rush when we finally, you know, beat Blackville State, just seeing after the game. That was, you know, it was a good feeling to finally be able to beat Black Hills at home and bring it home and seeing Coach Collins know that the hard work's paying off.
What's your wife major in? What's her major?
She's in mechanical engineering as well.
Where's John Deere relocating you to?
Waterloo, Iowa. So I'm part of the engineering development program. So it's a two-year program where recently graduated engineers will have 3 8-month rotations, and they'll do like different rotations of engineering, you know, design, testing, or manufacturing, even some go into marketing. Just give you experience in different fields of engineering. Yeah, you become, you know, become a more rounded engineer.
Waterloo's not Oregon or Texas.
No, it's not.
Definitely not Rapid City.
Didn't know where that, but I come from Midland, Texas, and my dad's originally from Oregon, and he's, you know, traveled across the U.S. He says it's the ugliest place he's ever seen. so any place is pretty in Midland.
Thanks, Jim.
Congratulations to Sam. Great athletic career, great academic career, and obviously he's going to do great things with John Deere. The volleyball program went on the road again, and they're finally coming back home. Welcome up head coach Doug Tabbert.
Thanks. Yeah, we've been on the road a lot. We're probably need a few home matches here, but I think we've got 7 matches left. We played 5 matches total at home so far, so it'll be good to get back here. This past weekend, Thursday night we drove down to Denver, spent the night there, went on to Pueblo on Friday, played CSU Pueblo Friday night. They came into the match, they were a 5-win team coming to the match, and that's the best 5-win team in Division II. I told a coaching colleague of mine, they're very talented, and they're just kind of streaky, but they're very physical, and that's a pretty good team. And we really hung with them pretty well in all 3 sets, kind of till the end. They kind of pull away from us a little bit down the stretch, but played them tough for a while. I told you last week they had a freak middle, and she's all that. She's a very physical, athletic kid. Did a decent job on her, held their other starting middle to a negative hitting percentage. They got 2 outsides that are pretty good. We did a pretty good job on them. They had a right side that had a really good night against us, but we played them pretty tough. Just got a little bit outmatched physically kind of down the stretch, and it's just kind of a struggle we've had a little bit. Smith and Pueblo drove to Western State, which is in Gunnison, Colorado. Kind of a lovely trip on a bus. We'll do the pass, but played them Saturday night. Really close match, competitive match. That was they won in 3. We could have just as easily won that in 3. Everything was tight. Every set came down to 1 or 2 plays. We were tied at 23 all in the first. We were at 24 all in the third. Held off a couple set points that they had. It was one of the ones a little more frustrating because it was a very winnable match for us, and it's just a couple plays here or there that made the difference. I told our team afterward I wish we could play them again the next day, because I think we beat them. I really thought we would if we could play them again. But I think the encouraging part for us is we were down kind of early and they still had to reset, and we played our best volleyball at the end of each set. When they had a chance to pull away, we got back in each of the 3 sets we played. So we did some good things. We were a little bit high air, struggled a little bit offensively, and just 1 or 2 plays that we didn't make each set kind of made the difference. And it's a little frustrating, but we're moving on. We've got 2 matches this weekend. We got Fort Lewis and Adams State coming into town. They're both, neither are having great seasons, so it's 2 more opportunities for us, and we look forward to doing that. Not much of an adventure on this trip. You'd think going to Colorado would be more fun than going to Fayette, Iowa, but it wasn't. I did learn one thing though. There is an alligator farm in the state of Colorado. I had no idea. Several of our Colorado kids said, "Can we go?" And it's like, that's about 100 miles out of the way, so I nixed that. But if you're ever in Alamosa, there's an alligator farm there if you ever want to stop by and see it. So. We've got one of our players here, Jena Kreuzer. Jena's one of our veterans, been in the program for an extended period of time. She's been a starting outside hitter at least as long as I've been here, which is 2 years, and has been a big part of our program. Tremendous student, really bright, and very motivated. She's done some really neat things academically while she's been here, and I'm sure she'll talk about that. She was in Texas 2 summers ago for a career development type experience. Spent last spring and the better part of the summer in Germany doing some academic things. Just a very bright, motivated, talented young person. She's going to have a great future when she graduates here, and she'll be a great representative of this institution when she's out in the real world. So appreciate all that she's brought to our program, and at least the time that I've been here. So Jena, come on up.
Hello, I'm the oldie, along with Sam. We're both very, very veteran. I've been here 4 years. I redshirted 1 year for volleyball. I got hurt and had surgery. And I've been starting outside hitter for the 3 that I did not redshirt. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm going to graduate this year as a senior mechanical engineering major. Some of the stuff I have done is I did 2 internships. One was working in Texas for Lehigh Hansen, which is an aggregate mine. So we blew up rocks and crushed them for cement and buildings so we can create stuff. And then the other one was a mechanical engineering firm where we created plungers for oil wells. So very different aspects. One was in a very industrial setting, and one was in more of a office type setting. And then last semester I was going to work for Nucor, but instead I got the opportunity to study abroad in Germany. And I went to Munich, Germany for 6 months and studied automotive engineering. So, you know, Munich, Germany is home to Volkswagen, which is not the best name in cars right now, but also to BMW. And so our classes had a lot of automotive components, I took vehicle dynamics, I took internal combustion engines, I took automotive mechatronics, and I also had the ability to look at their car lab that they have over there. The university has a 6-engine testing lab in one of their buildings, which is a huge capacity for a university. So very lucky to do that. Also got to travel all over. Went to the UK, Ireland, France, Austria, Czech Republic, Italy. Just really had a great time and a great opportunity for me to be able to take that time. Coming back, looking at my last year, I'm still searching for a job. Want to do something in the process engineering side. I like to get my hands dirty. I like to be building something or creating a product, trying to maximize efficiencies, that kind of thing. And with volleyball, Coach told you a little bit about last weekend. From my standpoint, they're really hard losses because you lose every set by 2 or 3 points. So, like he said, it's just the small things that really count, and I think that's what we've been really trying to talk about and focus on is consistency when it comes to games and making sure that, you know, if we clean up a couple of the errors that we make earlier, there's not even going to be a contest in who wins in the end part of it. So we're really trying to focus on consistency and really doing the extra, going the extra mile to make sure we can get those 2 or 3 points that we need to win. And yeah, this weekend should be good. I'm excited. My family's coming out to watch me play, or watch us play. And it's a good opportunity to get some wins under our belt and really go out. We want to end the season on a really, really strong point, and we have the ability to do that with our schedule. So, any questions you guys have for me?
What was the language situation?
The language situation, well, ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, so I don't speak a lot of German. So I did take classes in English and then study German on the side, and I learned a little bit of German. I struggled with the grammar because they have a really weird grammatical sense. I think it was really hard for me to pick up. And then in the English classes I took, I did a lot with Erasmus, which is the European study abroad. So I actually studied abroad with a lot of people from all over the world, a lot of Finnish people, Turkish people, Spanish people, Italians, just really anywhere in the Erasmus building. They had about 400 or 500 students there. So it was a good mix of cultures, a good opportunity to make friends all over the world and still talk to them a lot. Not face to face, obviously, but through the internet and Skype. So it's good I really have enjoyed the people that I met and been very close with them.
Good. Great.
Any other questions? Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
So is this alligator farm thing legit, or?
It is. It's right next to the sand dunes, if anyone's ever heard of the sand dunes. Yeah, the alligator farm's right next to the sand
Have you
dunes.
been there?
I have. I am from Colorado, so we took a family trip when I was in middle school down south, and that was one of the stops on the trip. So.
I asked the same question because I wasn't by it.
Oh, we're getting it from you. And
Yeah.
It's verification.
When they said that, I said, there's no way it's legit, and I got hammered by a college.
It's real.
You call it an alligator farm, do they sell alligator meat, or what do they raise?
I'm not sure what they do with it. I remember you could buy all the little tourist traps with like alligator heads in jars that you can get when you go to Florida. You can buy those too in Colorado. So I'm not 100% sure what they use the alligator for, but you could definitely buy those. Yes, Coach Anderson?
I haven't been to Germany, but when I do, I know what one thing I need to do. Were you able to sample any of the beverages over there?
Yes, very much so. Actually, I was able to attend, in Germany it's funny, beer is a part of their life, it really is. And they have festivals around it all the time. So a couple of the festivals that I was there for was Stark Beer Fest, which occurs during Lent. It's a darker beer and it's heavier, and the monks used to drink it because they couldn't eat. And also Frühlingsfest, which is like a smaller, more local Oktoberfest. So it doesn't get the crazy image, but it's a good spring fest. It translates to spring festival for the Germans. So yeah. Just kidding. Good question.
I didn't expect you to answer it so honestly. You do have to get that, so.
It's such a big part of life that over there that it's hard for me like to understand that when you come back over here. Like there are certain things that you could do over there you cannot do over here. Like you can't walk around with open containers all the time. Where in Germany everyone would do that. I'm not saying I would do that. Everyone would do that. So there's a lot of differences just within the culture when they approach their beverages.
Thanks for culturing me, I appreciate it.
Any other questions? No. Okay.
Thank you very much. Now, one thing, I know we're going to talk a lot of Hardrockers at these luncheons. Never thought we'd talk alligator farms. And then there's a room full of engineers, and they want to know why this and why that. I'm glad we did that, though. I appreciate that. Want to thank the Cambia Suites, by the way, one more time. They do a great job with our recruits out here. Do a great job with some of the opposing teams that come in and stay here. So thanks to the Cambia Suites for all they do and having us out today. And remember to support the volleyball program. They're the only ones at home this weekend. So you can follow the Hardrockers on the road at Azusa Pacific. And good luck to Coach Johnson of the RMAC Championship with the volleyball program at home Friday and Saturday. Thanks again. Have a good week.